Get my mic turned on there. There we go. Hey everybody. I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks Live. And today is World Mental Health Awareness Day. And that's some kind of day created by the World Health Organization. And Oliver Russ, JP, what's up dudes? Glad to see y'all here. But today is World Mental Health Awareness Day, and a day celebrated by the World Health Organization. And those of y'all who know me, you know I'm against all that globalist bullshit. But that goes to this whole mental health thing, right? This new direction of everything, globalism and all this stuff, in my opinion anyway, all this stuff is tied together. All this mental health shit, all this, they want to medicate everything, diagnose everyone with some kind of malady, right? You're on the autism spectrum, or you've got ADHD, or you've got BPD, or you're bipolar or whatever. Everybody's got some kind of thing, and they need to get medication, right? They need to be medicated. Hey, Tripwire, what's up, dude? And I believe that's all part of that globalist agenda, right? Get everybody medicated and all this shit. And anytime I see that WHO or WEO, World Economic Organization, or World something. Anyway, the money one, the monetary one. Anytime I see that shit, my red flags in my head automatically go up, right? And now they've got all these younger people, and a lot of people, period, diagnosing each other. They don't even go to a doctor, or a psychiatrist and get diagnosed with some kind of mental health disorder. These people are out here just, handymen and farmers and shit diagnosing each other. He's a narcissist, and all this different shit. We've just gone way overboard with all this mental health bullshit. Everybody's got problems. No, there is no, especially with mental health. I mean, the same thing goes with the physical health. I just honestly believe that my average healthy cholesterol number, whatever that number there that they just plucked out of the random ether, and they said that that's healthy there. Just another guy in the woods. What's up, dude? Lake, glad to see you here, man. But that number, my healthy cholesterol level might be different than Tripwire's or JP's. You know what I mean? I just don't think there's one number across the board that's perfect for every single human on the planet. That does not make sense to me. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just that ignorant. Maybe I'm that stupid. I don't know. But that just does not make sense to me. I cannot make that make sense in my head, that everyone is just exactly the same when it comes to cholesterol, and everyone is exactly the same when it comes to blood pressure and all, this kind of stuff. I've got problems and questions with that. So, if I have problems and questions with physical, the physical body, you can be damn sure I'm going to have questions when it comes to the mental. All right, because we're definitely not the same then. We've all got our little quirks and stuff. I hear people all the time calling themselves, what's that? OCD. They're saying they have OCD. Oh, yeah, I like my books, a certain way in alphabetical order. That's my OCD. What? OCD? You realize that OCD is a very serious mental condition. You're diagnosing yourself with that shit. or diagnosing someone else with OCD. Oh, they've got OCD. They clean, like their truck to be clean all the time or whatever. And you're like, No, that's just a little. That's just a little thing. A little thing that makes them special and unique and makes them an individual. You know, some people like their books in order. That used to be okay to like your books in a certain order. It used to be okay to like to keep your truck spotless. That used to be okay. That was just maybe different from me, you know. I'll just throw the tools in my van at the end of the damn day, at the end of 12-hour day. I'm not going to spend another 2 hours cleaning out my van. I'm going to throw my tools in that bitch and go home. So, you know, why I'm at the other end of that spectrum, I will literally throw my tools in there and shut the door and get in the van and go home. So why am I not diagnosed with something, right? But if you like your van neat and clean because you like to be able to find shit when you go looking for it, then you've got OCD. You need medication, and it's just ridiculous. That kind of stuff, and that's a thing that that I see happening in society and in the world. Is everybody wants to be diagnosed with something. Everybody wants to be medicated, and we hear so much now about mental health and mental health disorders and all this shit. And I honestly believe that most people are just normal. We all have our little quirks and whatnot, and we have our little differences. We have our little things that make us goofy or weird. And normal is just this diaphanous, ephemeral ghost that doesn't exist. Normal doesn't exist. We're all normal. Everybody, we're all weird in our own ways, and that's normal. You know what I'm saying? We don't need medication. Most of us. Now, some people need medication, don't get me wrong. But most of us do not need medication. We just need to live our damn lives with our little quirks. But yeah, that the WHO is promoting that mental health bullshit, and there's nothing wrong with mental health, don't get me wrong. But when you're telling everybody, patty paws, hey patty paws, but when you're telling everybody on the planet that they've got a mental health disorder and they need to seek psychiatric attention and pharmaceutical intervention, because they're sad. But well, if somebody just died or they just went through a breakup or something, sad is normal. Sad is okay. You're sad, or whatever the case may be. You're in mourning. You're going through a tough spot in life. You're supposed to be sad or stressed out or messed up during a tough time in life. If you just skate through that shit, then you're a zombie. You don't want to be a zombie. I don't want to be a zombie. I can't speak for you, but I don't want to be a damn zombie. I don't want to medicate my ass up and just skate through life without any struggles but no highs either. Yeah, you get rid of the lows, but you get rid of the highs too. The good parts of life. Yeah, attention to minor detail. Yeah, Trip. Yeah, and being it's the World Health Organization, that tells me that this epidemic of the mind, this mindset is being promoted throughout Western civilization. So I'm sure that in Norway, it's the same way that it is in the United States when it comes to this shit. I don't think anyone is even close to us as far as percentage of the population that is medicated, because they've just gone overboard, way overboard with that shit in the United States. But as far as the mental health, that mental health shit, probably they might address it in different ways, but they're still promoting it. Maybe y'all are just behind us. Maybe y'all have some catching up to do to get your pharmaceutical numbers up there, on par with the United States. Get y'all some medication so you can be in with the in crowd. Be drooling into your lap as you flick through TikTok videos. Medicated and just zombified. That whole thing, that really just rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, there would be no politicians. Yeah, you're right about that, Trip. Yeah, there couldn't be. For the world to be happy, that's the first thing we'd have to do is get rid of them some bitches. Okay. 130-pound tumor removed. All right, Oliver. Yeah. Uh, that's a tough thing now too. Who is that? Al be back? I'll be back. Yeah. Yeah, we got to keep our eye on the ball, that's for damn sure. But, and that's a tough thing. Relationships are tougher now, I think, in just as a general rule, because of all this promotion of mental health and all this shit, right? And diagnosing each other. And I see that all the time. People diagnosing, especially exes, right? Oh, I was dating a narcissist and all this shit. The everyone diagnoses their ex as a narcissist, and that to me is just pushing off responsibility. I did absolutely nothing wrong in that relationship. That my ex, I was tricked into dating a narcissist. That person is a narcissist, completely manipulated me. I did nothing wrong, that kind of thing. So you push all responsibility onto the narcissist, and that way you don't have to accept any responsibility. I did nothing wrong. I was a perfect angel, and that person was completely just a psychotic narcissist, and there was nothing I could do about that except, end the relationship. That was the smartest thing I did. So, and we have that a lot nowadays. And I've seen this stuff where women will say that they just count their first marriage as their starter marriage. That's just their starter marriage. You know what I mean? They just trying to figure stuff out and learn the ropes and kick that guy to the curb, and whether he sees his kids or not after that, well, that's irrelevant. But I'm gonna put 5 years in this first marriage and then I'm gone. I'm gonna go find somebody that I actually want to be with, which is a lie that they tell themselves, because when they find that new person that they want to be with, then they're with them for 6 months or a year or 18 months or whatever, and the newness wears off, then they want a new marriage, and it's like that. So they end up going from person to person to person, searching for this perfect marriage. And I don't know how many times I've seen it that a woman will post on whatever, X or Facebook or whatever, that they divorced their husband and now they regret it. Right? I thought that, he was a great guy. He went to work and supported me and was a great father to our kids, but I just wasn't happy. So I divorced him and now he's got a new wife and I'm so jealous of her. Now, how can you be jealous? You know, if I threw away my TV, threw my TV in the dumpster, and I saw somebody taking it out of the dumpster and going to go fix it up or something, do something with that TV, how could I be jealous of that person? I threw that TV away. It was garbage to me. I did not want it anymore. How can I be jealous? You know what I mean? How can I be pissed off at that person for taking my trash and doing something with it? But I see that all the time, you know, that now these women, after they divorce their husband, now they're miserable. They regret it. Rip the dude's life apart. You know what I'm saying? Completely rip the dude's life apart. Take his kids from him and shit. And then now they're oh yeah, that man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But just, you know, spur of the moment thing I just did, and now I wish I could take backs. I wish I had a take back there. You just can't make huge life-changing decisions like that on emotion. You know, you just can't do that. You got to think that shit through, and not with emotion, with your brain, with your actual brain. You have to use it. You know, I mean, it just the way that stuff is going now with relationships and shit, and it's hard, man. It's just hard. Oh yeah, yeah, JP. Yeah. The court system is geared to keep men away from their kids and shit. That's just the way it is. No, really, Al? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, JP, you're right. Yeah. But yeah, I see that shit all the time. And back to the one where women are saying that, you know, oh, this is my starter marriage. This is, you know, this first marriage, that's just a starter. Now, I wonder, it makes me wonder if they're telling the dude that, you know, their fiance, their supposed soon-to-be husband. Well, you know, we're going to do this for 5 years and then I'm out. You know what I mean? Not richer for poorer for the rest of our lives and shit, you know. No, yeah, so I love you right now, but I'm not going to in 5 years because I'm out. I'm out of here. You know, this is my starter marriage. Do women explain that to the dude before he gets up there and promises to you know, love them and protect them for the rest of his life? So that kind of shit, that mentality now, and it's not uncommon. This isn't like a rare thing. That no, that's through the younger generations. That's how they think now, and it's so I do not fault these younger guys for just completely staying out of it. Nah, no, the hell with that. I'm not getting married. Hell no. So I understand. Yeah. Prenuptial agreements, Al? Well, you know, hell, I don't really have much an opinion on them. I've never had anything for a woman to take from me, you know, take a couple of comic books or something. So, I would have no problem with it if, you know, if a woman wanted a man, if a woman had a lot of money and she wanted the man to sign a prenuptial agreement to protect her assets that she had before she married the dude, no one would have a problem with it. None. Zero. No men would have a problem with it. No women would have a problem with it. No trans people would have a problem with it. No one would have a problem with it. The only time that this is brought up is when a man wants a woman to sign a prenuptial agreement. That's the only time it's an issue. All right? Now, if I have, X amount of dollars before we get married, I want that when I'm single. I want that when I'm single again. I want to retain that. That's all, everything I had when I was single. If I'm single again in 10 years, then I want to have that same shit. That does not seem all kinds of crazy to me. That seems like a perfectly logical, valid thing to do. Man or woman, whichever way it goes, it's I just don't see any fallacy in the logic there. It sounds good to me. Yeah, yeah, JP. The father will just give up fighting the court system, and then the mother will say, "Why'd you stop fighting? Why'd you give up?" And all that shit. Man is expected to fight and struggle to see his kids for the rest of their lives, and that's insanity. A person should not have to fight to see their kids. They should just get to see their kids. So yeah, unless they've done something heinous and reprehensible that would prevent them from seeing their kids, then there should be no reason. That should just be a given. There should be no fighting involved. There should be no fighting required. And that's just common sense. That's just normal thinking, common sense. But that's nothing about our Western civilization, nothing about our judicial system, our politics, and nothing makes sense. There's no common sense, no logic involved. It's all just, whoever has the most money and whatever the political, whatever way the political landscape is going, that's the way it's going to go. Oh, okay. A prenup can be argued in court. Put your assets in a trust. Yeah, but I know a guy who's battling a trust over money because the trust just said, "Well, no, we're going to keep it." And then now the guy's the guy's got to spend all kinds of money battling in court and trying to find a lawyer. That's the thing. The lawyer defending him, does not want to end the lawsuit. So they're dragging it on. And the guy's already got so much money invested in the lawsuit and his lawyer doesn't want to just end it, because then that's like quitting a job. Winning the lawsuit is bad for the lawyer. Bad. That's how screwed up the justice system is. The guy who's supposed to want to win the lawsuit doesn't want to win the lawsuit because of money, because he gets billed by the hour, and if he can keep stringing this guy along for another 2 or 3 years, that's 2 or 3 years of guaranteed paychecks for the lawyer. His lawyer, not the not the bad guy's lawyer. The good guy's lawyer is a bad guy. Yeah, it's just completely screwed up. So yeah, and that's how it is with anything. If you want to, you want to see your kids, and you get a lawyer, and you go in there, "I want to see my kids, dude," and the lawyer says, "Oh yeah, we'll get your kids back," and all this shit, and you give him X amount of dollars, and he's going to go in there, and do you honestly think that he's going to go in there and get your kids back in one day? One day. And you can see your kids, dude, I took care of it. Nope, you don't owe me any more money. You paid me fair money. That's it. I'm done. Yep, you can go see your kids. You believe that a lawyer's going to do that? Or is a lawyer going to string it along for a few years and get every dime he can out of you? That's the world we live in. A lawyer doesn't give a shit if you see your kids or not. A lawyer gives a shit how long you can pay him to try, to keep this courtroom drama, this court system wheel turning. That's all the lawyer gives a shit about. How much for how long you're able to pay him. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You get on here, Trip, like me right now, and I'm talking about women and men can't see their kids and all that shit. Oh, there are plenty of shitty dudes out there. There are, it's not all women. There are plenty of shitty dudes out there who don't deserve a good woman, and it seems like those are the dudes who get the good women. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but it just seems that way. You know what I'm saying? And why, I don't know. That's just the way the damn universe works. And a good guy will bust his ass and just get shit on by some woman and left broken and destitute. Can't see his kids. Nobody, there's no justice anywhere. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing a dad's supposed to do, Trip. That's good. Yeah. Shannon, what's up, Shannon? Let's see. We still got more time, Shannon. We're talking about relationships and divorces and court and all this shit and lawyers and all the whole ball of wax. Um, and as I was saying, it's not just one. It seems like that the court system favors women when it comes to kids. They just automatically want to put the kids with the women, and I don't think that's really debatable. That's just an obvious thing. But there are plenty of dudes who don't deserve to see their damn kids. You know what I'm saying? They've done shit and that warrant that. And that's the thing I see a lot in all kinds of different areas of society, where a small group of people will ruin it for everyone else, right? So they got to pass these blanket laws against all of us because there were a couple of dudes who shouldn't be around their kids. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be a law pop up that prevent all just average hardworking dudes from seeing their kids because some douchebag did some stupid shit. So, yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean, when you're talking about that kind of stuff too, it's never just black and white. Never. When you get into that family stuff and the family courtroom and all that drama and stuff, he said, she said, and then there's feelings all involved and stuff, and different people and justifications for why people did what they did and everything. So that shit, that's just a quagmire of difficulties, when you get into that kind of stuff. But oh, your husband stayed home with the kids? I've heard, uh, that's not unheard of anymore. And if it works out, then I don't see any problem with that. You know what I mean? Um, as long as everybody's happy, shit. Vintage, what's up, Vintage? Glad to see you here, man. Oh, all right, you still busy, man? Well, we'll be here again tomorrow and the next day and all that. So just join us when you can, Vintage. Thanks for listening, man. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool, Shannon. Co-parent the kids. Yeah, that's cool. So he must not be a complete spaz, you know what I mean? He must have some damn sense if you're willing to do that. So that's cool. That's the way it should be. If two people can't live together anymore and don't want to work it out or whatever, or it can't be worked out or whatever, then at least they should be adult enough to come together and share time with the kids equally. "36 years, still married." That's good, Trip. I love hearing those kind of stories. Yeah. I've been married, let's see, 2025. So I've been married for 10 years. Yeah, we just had our 10th anniversary in July. So 10 years for me. But I think, I just think me and my wife will be together till we die, honestly. Mike Fleisner, my boy, what's up, dude? Good morning. Glad to see you here, man. But, yeah, the strangest thing, though, to me, I know people, us Gen Xers have gone through a lot as far as relationships and, children and parenting, and we've been through the gamut of shit, right? And now we're grandparents and we're going to be experiencing this whole thing. And a lot of us saw our parents be completely neglectful in the 70s, but then in the 90s and 2000s, be these doting grandparents that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, watching your damn parents who just didn't give a shit about you, but then be these doting, loving grandparents. That pissed a lot of people off. But yeah, we've been through a lot as a generation, a lot of change, from the women's rights. And in the 70s, when we were born and we were kids, women were just getting into, having their rights and having the right to vote and really becoming, whatever you want to call that, a force to be reckoned with, a real, entering the workforce and becoming, all that stuff. And at that point, I think it was cool, but somehow along the way, this feminist stuff started taking over, and then putting pressure on women to enter the workforce, and and like demonizing women who wanted to stay home. And I just think that went too far. Women should have had a complete choice to enter the workforce and gone out and done, been a CEO or a nurse or a damn whatever they wanted to be. And if they wanted to stay home and raise kids, they could have stayed home and raised kids with no judgment or anything anywhere. Just like a man. Because a man, well, back in the day, it was the opposite. A man was supposed to go work, but he was frowned on if he stayed home with the kids. But nowadays, it's kind of gone the other way. A man is perfectly acceptable to stay home with the kids if his wife can make more money, but a woman isn't. A woman is supposed to get out there and be hard charging, and I just think that's unfair pressure on women. If they want to be more traditional and stay home with the kids, there shouldn't be this social stigma attached to that. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, we were the latchkey generation, yeah. Yeah, so do I, Shannon. Yeah, both parents should be involved. Yeah, because we all know it. It's not just our lives; it's the kids' lives too. So, yeah, even if, like I said earlier, even if we can't get along with the spouse anymore and it's just not fixable and we got to separate, still we have to take the kids into consideration, where a lot of people aren't. They just don't do that. They refuse to do that. Just, there's a lot of pain and spite in there, and they just want to hurt the other person, and that's it. They're not concerned about the kids or how the kids feel or their welfare or their future. They just want to retaliate against the other person. So, and sometimes, depending on what the person did to you, it's a lot easier, I think, if you just grew apart, and maybe that's the whole thing. You just grew apart, one of those things. But if that person cheated on you and did all kinds of shit to you, it's harder to forgive and forget, and just set that shit aside and say, let's do what's best for the kids. That's a more difficult situation. So, yeah, I agree, JP. Much respect to Shannon and her ex for doing that. E-Frog, what's up? What's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Lake. Glad to see you, Lake. Yeah, it is. You're right, Trip. That is rare. Yeah, most people are more like tend to lean toward what I was saying before about the spite and all that shit. A lot of infidelity and stuff. AF. You're lurking today, AF? Alright. But all that infidelity and all this stuff is being promoted now. You can look online and see all the stuff, all the posts people make and all that, and that, it's justification for cheating and all that shit, you know what I mean? There's no more moral compass, and regardless of religion and all that stuff, we still need a moral compass. Some things are bad and some things are good. I mean, regardless of what you believe in the afterlife and all this other shit. So when you start talking about morals, people automatically think, you're talking about the Bible or the Quran or whatever. And that, I mean, even an atheist can have morals, and tell the difference between right and wrong as a society. And all this promotion of the cheating and the infidelity and all this shit, even with the what do they call them, MAPS, minor attracted people. They do that thing where they soften that, right? Well, he's not a child molester, he's just a minor attracted person. That's just a persuasion, like heterosexual or homosexual. That's just a choice. There's no deviancy there. There's there's nothing wrong with it. That kind of shit. And that's the thing in society that I just can't stomach that shit. There's a right and there's a wrong. Period. End of story. You do it, it's either right or wrong, and you live with the consequences. To have society all of a sudden saying this evil shit is okay because that's the way the political landscape is going or whatever, or the globalist, that's part of the globalist agenda. No. It's still wrong. It's still evil. It's still messed up. Do it if you want to, but don't try to justify that shit. Don't try to make it okay. Don't try to convince me that it's not evil and wrong, right? You know it's evil and wrong. I know it's evil and wrong, but you're just spouting some bullshit to justify the evil and the wrong that you're doing. And that's what I see all the time online, right? And I say you, but I'm not talking about you in particular. You specifically, I'm saying all these idiots posting this shit online. Stephanie Anderson, what's up? Hey. Yeah, that's Yeah, you're absolutely right. Morals are dying. Joe P, what's up, Joe P? And like I said, that's not. We talk about morals and stuff, and we don't. It really doesn't have anything to do with religion. We just inherently know as human beings, as animals, okay? As animals, we know right and wrong. You're not going to go out on the African savannah and fly around in a helicopter and ever see a lion having sex with a little lion cub, or a rhinoceros having sex with a little baby rhinoceros. You're never going to see any of that shit ever in the animal kingdom. Why? Because it's wrong at a DNA level, at a freaking, a scientific, evolutionary level. It's wrong. You will kill your species by doing it. That's why animals don't do it. Animals that have evolved, and because the animals that did that shit, they died out. They crippled their offspring in the mind and shit, and they didn't reproduce, and they were all messed up, and so the species died out. If there ever was a species that did that besides humanity, I don't know. But there are things that we murder. You don't see. Lions get in fights and shit, but and they will kill each other in battle. Male lions will kill each other in battle and stuff. But you never see just like a serial killer lion killing other lions, just going around slaughtering other lions. You never see a zebra going around just kicking another zebra to death because he's a murderer. In the animal kingdom, you don't see that shit. They kill to eat just like we do. We kill to eat, and we do these things. But just out of a weird, malfunction, misfiring in our brain, we murder. Okay, other animals don't do that. So at a scientific DNA level, that shit is wrong. It's wrong. We know it. We can't. There's no argument there. But when you talk about morals and stuff, people want to throw religion into it and get, like all that stuff. And, but that's not necessarily the case. I mean, there are rights and wrongs that we know the difference at a DNA level. Oh, they financially disowned you when you told them you wanted to go to medical school, AF? Yeah. That sounds like boomer parents, or, the parents of Gen Xers. Your dog jumps in your lap. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Now, lions do that so that the lions don't grow up, the male lions don't grow up and compete with them. Now, there's a specific reason for that, and almost all of them do that. Yeah, but that's a specific thing that lions do. They don't do it because they're screwed in the head and they're just murdering cubs. They don't murder their own cubs or just murder the female lions, or do any stuff like that. And even that is so harsh. It feels wrong, doesn't it, JP? That shit feels wrong when you watch those National Geographic shows and you see the male lion come in and he takes over the pride, and then he kills all the male cubs of the previous male lion. That seems wrong to us at a DNA level. I'm not gonna check check the Bible. John 3:13, it says male lions killing cubs is wrong. I just feel that inside. My gut reaction to that is it's wrong. But Yeah, you're absolutely right, JP. You're right to point that out. Give him a chewable keyboard. Yeah. Oh, okay, Shannon. My dad died in, when was it? 93. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it was 93, yeah. All right, Vintage. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate your support. Yeah, exactly, Stephanie. That's what I believe. It's part of that's our free will, right? We have we have the freedom to choose wrong, to choose evil. We can do that. That's what makes us separate from the animals. We have the free will to choose evil. We can do wrong. But we know it's wrong. When we do it, it's wrong. That doesn't, to justify it and to make up excuses and all this shit and make up acronyms like MAPS and all this stuff. That doesn't mean it's not wrong anymore. Just because society has decided to accept it and normalize it doesn't mean it doesn't just erase the stain of evil from those kind of actions. Monkeys do the same thing. Oh, they'll kill the male babies. I didn't know monkeys did that, Shannon. Okay. I didn't know wolves did that too. But yeah, so a lot of these species will kill the young when they take over a new pack. Alex K. Oh, thanks, dude. We're about to wrap it up. I'm going to clean it out today. I'm going to see if I can get a video after it's cleaned out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never really looked into that. Um, Laic, but yeah, honesty is got to be up on the list. Oh, all right, cool, Alex. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's sure come a long way from that empty ass just trailer, that semi trailer, hasn't it? Yeah, big country. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I have seen that too. Yeah. So, and that whole thing, when you see the moral standard, just being lowered in society, um, my question is why? Why? The people weren't happy back in the 70s when the moral standards were higher, and in the 70s they were lower than they were in the 50s. You know what I mean? After the whole hippie thing and all that shit, they were lower, and it's just been a downhill slide since I don't know when the highest moral standard was, but it's been a downhill slide since then, and it's just getting worse and worse. Where we don't value anything. There's all this stuff that used to have real value doesn't anymore. People honestly, and this probably seems like a minor thing, but people don't even like show up on time. Hey, I'll meet you there at 5, or I'll be there at whatever time. That's meaningless now. It's completely meaningless. They might not even show up. Period. And, not at all. No text to let you know that they're not showing up. Hey, I'm running late. I can't make it. Whatever. Just completely blow you off. And that's just a standard thing. That's not a, just once in a while you run into that and somebody's a dick or whatever, some oddball dude is just a dick. No, that's all the time. You're rolling the dice when you agree to meet someone somewhere nowadays. You're just rolling the dice whether they're even going to show up, right? And that's one of the things I try really hard to do. And when me and my wife first got together, it frustrated her actually because I kept my word to people, and it's important to me that I keep my word. If I tell someone I'm going to be there, then I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, even if something important comes up, well, I got to do that important thing. I got to figure out how to put that important thing and get that done at another time because I've already given my word. I've already, promised someone that I would be at a certain place at a certain time. And it's not to make that person think better of me or whatever. It's so I can feel good about myself. I know that I'm a man of my word. So if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be somewhere. And hopefully y'all have seen that here with my channel and stuff. Because when I tell you I'm going to do something, I really try to do it. If I have a question in my mind about, whether or not I can post on this day, then I'll tell you that. That's kind of tentative, you know what I mean? Don't hold my feet to the fire on this one because I might not be able to post it this time. But I post regularly, and I know y'all expect it, and I try not to change too much because, I've already promised to do a certain thing, so I feel like I need to. I need to do it just so I can feel good about myself, So, and that's too much about me, but that has gone away. I'm talking about society. That has gone away. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. They'll leave you standing there looking at your watch, hey, when's this dick going to show up? And they don't care. Your time is infinitely less valuable than theirs. They don't care about your time. They don't care what you think of them. They don't care what they think of themselves. They don't care about any of that shit. And I think that is a bad thing, Your word used to mean a lot. I mean, a whole lot. If you didn't keep your word, you weren't worth shit back in the day. Nowadays, that doesn't mean shit. Nobody cares. Yeah. Yeah, competitive for money and attention. Yeah, you're right about that, Stephanie. Rad queer? Oh, okay. Yeah. And it's fine, if you want to dress up like a bunny rabbit and wear high heels and stockings and shit, that's fine. But what I don't understand is the absolute desire to parade that shit out in public, right? I mean, I personally like wearing comfortable cotton stuff and ugly socks and stuff, but I don't want to go out in public and show everybody that shit. That's my home stuff, So I don't get that. What is it in their mind that makes them want to push that shit out and make everybody else look at that shit, right? I don't have any desire to do that. So I don't know where that comes from. You know what I'm saying? Why can't you just be happy at home, run around your house with that stuff on? But I see that a lot, where they want to push it out and make people view it, whatever it is, their idea, their dress, their whatever, their lifestyle, whatever. They feel like they feel some kind of need to put it out in the public and either make people accept it or look away or judge or whatever. They force everybody to confront that in some way. So I don't know what that's about. I've never really felt that. I just don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I don't need to parade my pajamas around in public or whatever, you know. But yeah, that's a weird thing. I agree, Shannon. That's just some weird shit that I don't get. Yeah, Oliver, Oliver, that, you know, back in our day, you couldn't do that. You couldn't just not show up, you know. If your parents told you to do some shit, you had to do it. You know what I'm saying? They told you to show up and do some work, you're going to show up and do some work, or you were going to regret it, period. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I can imagine AF. Yeah, people making appointments with you and then just not showing up, no call, no nothing, just blow you off, and now you've got this empty slot for half an hour, whatever that you held open for them, and you can't fill that shit in at the drop of a hat. You know, you can't fill that. Get somebody else in there. So now you've just got an hour of dead time in the middle of your day, or however many throughout the day. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, it's hard, Stephanie. The Gen Z kids, they have no concept of time, you know, no concept of showing up on time. No, they don't feel any responsibility to show up on time. Any of that stuff, right? None of just all of that's just meaningless to them. Yeah, that's how I feel, Simplot. Yeah, I don't have to accept all that shit. You know, I don't have to embrace all that shit, all this weird shit going on, all these, all this, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just throw a dart and pick, you know, pick one of these weird freaking things that are becoming popular or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to accept this shit, not embrace it like that. Yeah, we have to accept the fact that it exists. Yeah, what the hell are we gonna do about it? And some dude wants to dress up like an Easter egg and, you know, bounce around his house or whatever. You know, what the hell are we gonna do about it? But to embrace that shit and accept it on that level is just completely. I'll ignore it, you know, but I'm not gonna act like it's normal. I'm not gonna act like it's okay, anything like that. The best I can do is ignore that shit when I see it. You know what I mean? Just completely ignore it. Now, some of that shit with the maps and all that, you can't ignore that. For the people who are trying to normalize that, just the average people, who are trying to normalize that, they think, I guess they think they're doing a good thing. How make that make sense, right? These people who want to normalize minor attracted people and all that and make them okay and make what they're doing okay, they're evil. I mean, just making that's like if I was out there supporting murder, okay, I would be evil. Well, look at Charles Manson. I don't think he ever killed anybody, did he? But he supported it. He supported the people and got them to go out and kill. So he spent life in prison. He's evil. We can all agree on that. Nobody wants to argue that Charles Manson's not evil. His name was synonymous with evil back in the day. So it's the same thing with all this other shit now. But now the society, the cultural shift has happened. Now back in the 70s and 80s, if you had jumped up all of a sudden and started talking about minor attracted people and how it was okay to have sex with kids and all that shit, you would have been the sexual equivalent of a Charles Manson. But now, you're all right. No, it's okay. You're, as far as society goes, that's just a choice. That's a persuasion, right? It's crazy. It's insane. I mean, I'm living in this damn bizarro world, looking around at this crazy shit and trying to figure it out. And how can people be so screwed up? I mean, honestly, how can a normal person get up, go to work, put his pants on, go do something for 8 hours every day and come home and support minor attracted people? No. I don't know. They're aliens or robots or sheep or NPCs or something. I don't know, but it's messed up. It's messed up in a bad way. All right. Well, I'm already past my time. I ran my mouth too much. So we had a good hour though. I appreciate y'all coming by, hanging out with me early this morning on a Saturday. Lake, just another guy in the woods. Oliver Rust, Tripwire, Michael Taylor, JP. Who else we got? AF, Vintage, Shannon, Patty Paws, Joe P, G Simplot. Who else we got? I know I'm missing somebody. Who else we got here? Alex K. Big Country. Did I say Stephanie already? I forget if I got Stephanie Anderson. All right. So goodbye to all of y'all. Thank you for showing up. Jeff 7. eFrog 3. If I missed your name, I apologize, but goodbye. I am off to work. And remember, tomorrow afternoon or day after tomorrow morning for our Australians. Y'all confuse the shit out of me with your time zone. But we've got our bigger live stream on Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6. So it's 2 hours. We always have a pretty good time on Sunday afternoons. Thank y'all for showing up this morning. I have a great time hanging out with y'all and talking common sense and, just hearing what y'all think about this stuff. We hit several important topics today, and I think it's important to talk about this stuff and hear each other, and have another person that feels the same way you do about this stuff, so you don't feel so crazy. That's how I am. So I don't feel so crazy. When I see y'all on here, voicing the same types of opinions and even pointing out stuff that I haven't thought about, I realize that not every single person in the world is crazy. There are some good people out there. There are some people out there that still think with common sense, and I'm not alone here on this crazy ass ball of dirt. So I'll let you go, and y'all have a great Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully you're not like me and you're not working today, and you have a nice relaxing day off, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, and as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.